by Eun-Hee, our Arirang news features reporter. Welcome, Eun-Hee.
Hello, Eun-Hee.
Thank you. Hello, Soa. Hello, Walter. Hello, everyone. I'm Arirang's news features reporter, Eun-Hee.
So, Eun-Hee, I heard that you recently went to the press conference of a new opera, which is the Rising World Spirit of Water, or 물의정령 in Korean. So, Eun-Hee, what happens when a Korean princess, a mystical water spirit, and a visionary artisan meet on the stage, on the opera stage?
Well, doesn't it sound interesting?
It does.
Well, this English production is Seoul Arts Center's first ever original opera, and it's definitely aiming to captivate the Korean and the global audience. And it's set to make its world premiere here in South Korea on May 25th, which is very soon, so let's all take a closer look.
Something new is coming to the Seoul Arts Center in South Korea. This May, SAC will debut its first ever original opera, The Rising World Spirit of Water. Blending traditional Korean themes with a modern twist, the English language production marks a major milestone created entirely in-house from story to music. Blending Eastern and Western cultures, the opera tells the story of a princess captivated by a water spirit and a female artisan who builds a water clock to save a kingdom plagued by constant water disasters. The cast features internationally acclaimed opera singers, including South Korean soprano Hwang Soo-mi as the princess and mezzo-soprano Kim Jung-mi as the artisan.
I would say that the work portrays a human being, regardless of gender, who engages with nature, particularly through the element we call water. It explores the relationship between humanity and nature.
The element of water is expressed in many ways throughout the music. The opera's composer, Australian Mary Finster, explains that while you might hear it through electroacoustic sounds or a special instrument called a waterphone, the feeling of water mostly comes through the orchestra's instrumentation and the flowing ornamentation in the vocal lines. The show will have its world premiere at the Seoul Arts Center's Opera House on May 25th, followed by performances on May 29th and 31st. The creative team boasts international talent, including conductor Stephen Osgood, praised for his work at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, leading the Korean National Symphony Orchestra.
It's our window into the imagination of the composer and the librettist. I get pages, hundreds of pages of music. But what it is on the page is dots of ink. And what Mary has done is sit in her studio and imagine a sound world that nobody has heard yet.
Those pages, filled with countless notes, are a world the conductor steps into. He waters it and breathes life into it so the music can finally reach our ears. Now it's the audience's turn to step into that imagined world and fully experience an opera like a powerful fairy tale, one that flows with a message we can all feel.
Well, Eun-Hee, it does sound like a fairy tale, but with a deeper message, especially when you mentioned the part that the kingdom in the opera is affected by water disasters. It sounds quite serious. So could you dive a little deeper into this message?
Yes, definitely. So the opera integrates some elements of Korean culture, though the production team approached this with very much care, keeping in mind that it's not their own culture. And through their research, they discovered Korea's rich mythology, including how closely attached ghosts and the symbolic power of water are to Korean culture. So that led them to settling on Water Ghost, but they said rather than representing one tradition, they focused on building a universal story, one that explores humanity's connection with nature and our shared responsibility to protect it.
And it really does sound like a remarkable production and also a bold new chapter for Korea's opera world.
Yes, it does indeed. And creating an original opera from scratch is no small feat, of course, especially when everything from the story is built entirely in-house. Are there any plans to take this sort of international audiences as well?
Yes, global expansion is very much part of the plan, and so far the representatives from international venues, including Taiwan's National Taichung Theater, the Sydney Opera House, and Tokyo's New National Theater, are expected to attend the premiere. And of those, discussions with the Taiwan have already made some notable progress. So And the team are aiming for 2027 to open the show in the global stage.
It's really exciting to hear that these international venues are already showing their interest, and it also shows how big the potential is for K-operas. I mean, we already have K-musicals out there, so I'm really excited to see K-operas also being recognized abroad. Well, thank you very much, Eun-Hee, for sharing your story today with us.
Thank you, Eun-Hee.
Thank you.